Hey, welcome to the lesson on mixing pentatonics. What you're looking at right now on the screen is basically the fretboard, and what's laid out on it is the minor and major pentatonic and the blues scale mixed together into what I'd call like a hybrid pentatonic scale. The reason that I'm doing this lesson is because it's been my experience over the last year or so that a lot of students have come to me and they've been asking me about a specific sound. And so I'll give you a scenario that I encounter a lot. A lot of the students that I work with over Skype, they're really into bands like the Grateful Dead and Fish, and they'll bring me a recording and it'll have kind of a country music kind of vibe to it. And they'll say, well, I can see that it's in the key of E, but I don't really understand what scale I'm supposed to play, because I think I'm supposed to be playing one scale, but then there are these other notes thrown in. And so a lot of times what it really is it's kind of this hybrid scale. And if you want to listen to a guitar player who's really a master of sort of the country music lexicon, I would say that Chet Atkins would be probably one of your best choices, because that's where a lot of these guys are getting that language from, is from traditional country guitar playing. And I'm not really a master of country guitar playing, but you could say that I dabble a little bit here and there. So, and also I'd like to point out, you don't have to necessarily play in the country blues kind of vibe with this stuff. You can apply it, any way you like. So I'm basically going to go ahead and just tell you one way that you can practice this hybrid scale, which you're predominantly going to use over dominant 7 chords. We're going to look at the key of E, and I'm just going to show you one way in which to practice, but I'm not going to tell you necessarily how to play. If you guys are interested in the style of playing that I did in the intro, just leave me a comment, send me an email, and I can make a lesson where I show you a couple licks in that vein. But I'm going to go ahead and just show you one thing right now. And the thing I'm going to show you is position playing versus playing off of a triad. Now, I'll show you one position. I'm not going to go through all the positions of this particular scale, because I find that to be completely superfluous, and I don't think it really has garnered that many results for me personally. And I think that most of the time that you're tapping into this language, you're playing off of a triad. So what I suggest you do, and what I'm going to show you right now, is I'm going to show you one triad, an E triad. We're going to start inverting it up the neck, and then just finding little pieces of the scale around that triad, and always keeping the chord tones in mind and resolving the chord tones, hitting the chord tones on strong beats and things like that. You can go ahead and you could try to learn this, the way you would learn a traditional scale, but for me, it's like I already know the minor pentatonic, I know the blues scale, and I know the major pentatonic, so I don't really feel that I need to practice that, I'd rather just go and try to apply it right away. So let's take a look at that. Alright, so I'm just going to show you this in one position. Alright, so now I'm just going to take the E triad, and I'm just going to noodle around with the scale. Okay, so here's root position. First inversion. Second inversion. Okay, so I just showed you one idea on a basic triad on strings 1, 2, and 3. Obviously, once you get that down, move it to strings 2, 3, and 4, and even all the way down to 4, 5, and 6. Now, I think this is going to yield a lot better results for you in terms of like being able to apply this scale, as opposed to going through all the positions and all that, which is usually the opposite of what I say. But it's true. I believe it's true anyway. The other thing I want you to try to do is I want you to try to really address those chromatic passages that are available to you. You know, you have two good sets of 4-note chromatics here: F sharp, G, G sharp, and A, and then B flat, B, C sharp, and D. Just be conscientious about chord tones. You want to give those the preference on the strong beat, or else it's just going to sound like you're noodling off into outer space after a while. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got a couple more, actually, that are almost done, so take a look back at my page soon, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.